All right, guys. So Exxon just reported earnings. I'm pretty sure they're out now. Today we have PCE inflation data. I believe expectations for this are like 0.3%, 0.2%, 0.3%. Let's check a look to see what Exxon showed up as. Exxon should have just released their numbers. Yeah, so Exxon posted 227 EPS versus 237, so worse than expected EPS. Revenue higher than expected, though, at almost 91 million versus 88.8 million expected. They also raised their dividend to 95 cents from 91 cents. They expected a raise to 94 cents, so a higher raise on their divvy than expected here. So, kind of mixed results, better than expected revenue, but worse than expected EPS. And you can kind of see they're gapping down a little bit. Exxon at 107s right now. Tesla pushing up back up to 210s, but the whole market's been kind of struggling, to be honest, here the last few days. Bitcoin still sitting, at 3450. Yeah, we got oil numbers coming out today. Sorry, give me a second. I'm going to put on some music and drink some coffee. Let me know if the music's too loud. It should be good. All right. We're live. We're also going to do a poll here. Are you bullish or bearish on today's PCE inflation data release? Bull, bear. Go to that poll. Need to move to London here. It's 11:37. My last name is London, believe it or not. So, got English blood. My middle name, I'm not going to say my middle name, but my middle name is Nordic. Gas is short as we have record storage levels in Europe and worldwide, and it's good weather. Yeah, the problems overseas have been causing oil to be volatile lately. I'm in Exxon, but I'm green still, even with these latest drops. But Exxon's kind of given a lot of its price back, so oil is kind of corrected a little bit. (9:38 p.m. in Australia). Looking at our polls, 69% are bullish, 29% are bearish. Looks like it's greater than that. It looks like 70-30 are bullish. I would say the extension is certainly on the downside. We've had a lot of red action. Amazon, what did they end up doing yesterday? So Amazon's still reacting really well, so maybe this is going to help the market. But what's up, Arif? Yeah, that's what time it is for me too, George. I'm in Texas right now, and so it's 5:40 basically right now in the morning. I got up at like 5. That's usually when I get up. Exxon's starting to bounce back up. It's at 107.70. So we'll put what they showed up as with numbers again. Here's Exxon's numbers. Fiscal year CapEx seems to be at the high end of prior 23 to 25 billion view. They expected 21 billion. They raised their dividend to 95 cents. Gold should hit 2K by the end of the day. Maybe. I mean, it's pretty close to 2K. It almost hit 2K this morning. You know, it hit 1999. So, yeah, gold's been doing all right. You see ExxonMobil's numbers right here. So remember, core PCE data is the most important one versus regular PCE. And core is expected. Core PCE is expected at 0.3%. Yeah, so core PCE expected at 0.3. We also have personal income and spending. Michigan inflation expectations at 10. Is there some natural gas short ETF? Probably. What you search for is you type in nat gas bear ETF, and you should find a couple. Yeah, so KOLD is the biggest one. Short natty gas ETF. So KOLD is the main one. It's the Bloomberg one. Hit my coffee a little bit, wake up some. All right, team. All right, team. All right, team. We got the smooth sounds. uh, again, Exxon trying to bounce back up. We can see the SPY here. Sounds like the 90s in here today. SPY back up to 414s, almost 415, sitting right around the volume weighted average price. VWAP level. Wait till Bloomberg permits nat gas storage is full levels of weather cool skyrocket. Is anyone stuck in ABBC? No. Terrible penny stock. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's like, oh, penny stocks give you such great trades. No, they don't, man. A lot of the time they just don't give you anything. They just crash. You know, the pump happens, CEOs sell and make money, and then leave everybody holding bags. All right, team. Let me drink some coffee here. I'm watching the SPY. I hope we move. We're pretty sideways. PCE data is pretty important. Let's get the timer up. All right. So let's see. It is 6:30 market time. So that means we got about an hour. Go. All right, so we got about an hour and 41 minutes until PCE data comes out. All right, team. All right, team. Again, PCE inflation data expected at 0.3% on the years, expected at 3.7%. A lot of people are actually paying attention to this today. We got Michigan 5-year, 1-year inflation expectations. We got Michigan consumer sentiment and expectations dropping at 10 as well. So we got some other stuff coming out, but next week's the big week with other stuff coming out. So next week, economic data wise, it's not really like a packed week. We got the FOMC meeting on Wednesday, but like Monday's actually pretty quiet. So we don't really have much going down Monday. Tuesday, we don't really have anything going down on Tuesday as well. We got CB consumer confidence late on Tuesday. So that's cool. We'll cover that. Wednesday, November 1st, we got non-farm employment change, ISM manufacturing PMI, JOLTS job report, and then the FOMC meeting later on. And then that means Thursday we have GDP data come out. So Thursday it looks like we got GDP Wait, Thursday we don't have GDP. Thursday we just got jobless claims, durable goods. Friday we should have unemployment and non-farm payrolls. Services PMI, non-manufacturing, and services PMI. So we actually do have a lot of economic data next week. I think we're supposed to have GDP too, but maybe I'm wrong on that one. Good morning. Can you tell me how ExxonMobil's numbers did this morning? Yeah, so Exxon's numbers, we posted them in the chat earlier. They are right here. So Exxon did miss on EPS, beat on revenue, raised their dividend 95 cents, expected 94 cents. Fiscal year CapEx seeing the high end. On a revenge trade, but yesterday when I bought 40 and I was down big, I bought Amazon on that dip and made my loss back plus 500. Hey, nice. Was GDP yesterday? Am I that behind on economic data? No, GDP wasn't yesterday. Oh, it was yesterday, dude. What am I thinking then? Okay, yeah, y'all are right. So next week, I'm sorry. I'm dumb. GDP came in at 4.9% yesterday. Sorry, I cover so much economic data that it's hard to follow all of it. So yeah, next week we got ADP non-farm employment change, ISM manufacturing, JOLTS job openings, FOMC meeting Wednesday. Thursday we got jobless claims, durable good orders. Friday we got non-farm payrolls and unemployment. So next week's actually pretty busy as well, and that's not even including Apple earnings that drop Thursday. Apple earnings drop Thursday. It's one of the biggest earnings calls of the season. So we'll see what they do. And Apple has with all this stuff going on, man, it's just a lot of stuff. All right, team. Market is looking stagnant. I was thinking today's things will pop because of Amazon's report. Maybe. Yeah, next week, critical week. What do you think about Apple earnings will look like? I'm not sure. I hope they're good. Yeah, it's been a definitely long week, man. GDP was 4.9%. But a high GDP number is not necessarily good, though. That's the thing people have to understand. High GDP is not necessarily good right now. Again, there's a lot of fear, specifically regarding inflation with heading into the next FOMC meeting. So we'll see. Although inflation data has looked better. What did we get for CPI last time? When's the next CPI reading as well? Let me see. So the next CPI report's November 14th, so we still got a couple weeks. But again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. High GDP isn't good when the Fed's literal goal is to reduce GDP and raise unemployment. Yeah, for sure. They're trying to discourage spending, right? So the super high GDP is probably not seen as a positive thing. And if you look at the market, it's one of the reasons the market actually didn't have a green day yesterday, which is because GDP was pretty high. That's my guess. And again, we got PCE data coming out in about an hour and 30 minutes. All right, guys. Quote for the day by Bulldog Trading: "Develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success," according to Dale Carnegie. Hey, I love it, man. Honestly, they say businesses, they say when you start a business, about 6 fail before 1 succeeds, and I can confirm that's definitely true in my end, at least. I'm not saying I'm the most successful business guy ever. Chevron reported earnings too. Chevron missed as well, so oil stocks missed today, which is interesting. A lot of them are down. So again, here's the SPY. Look at Chevron. Right here. Chevron down to 152s. Exxon. Exxon's not really down that much, but again, oil plays missed earnings. How much do I need to do day trading? No, it depends. It's a very nuanced answer, to be honest, man. It depends. Big tech cloud is skyrocket, but more GDP contribution as more spending. GDP will grow this holiday period, plus overseas big money. Yeah, I mean, maybe. One could have a look into why GDP was so high. How much does Microsoft, Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, and other stuff like that impact GDP in Europe? The government's a big fan of Microsoft Azure and cloud. Yeah, 100%. I mean, they're all going to influence spending as well. The 10-year yield, let me see. The 10-year bond yield. Ten-year bond yield's about 4.86%. So I mean, it hasn't really moved over the last few days. It's been pretty stagnant since yesterday. So it's been basically at the same spot. Maybe up a small amount, but not much. If you're trying to day trade stocks, you need about 25K. It's one of the reasons futures are useful, because you can day trade futures. There's no PDT rule. Check out Top Step in the description. I'm not trying to plug it right now, but it's a futures funded program that you can learn to day trade on. And if you're good enough, they fund you. If you're not good enough, it's like $50. They're a sponsor of mine though, but I'm not trying to do another plug. It's too early. But Yellen says GDP will be much lower in the future, according to MarketWatch. We'll see. I hope so. Inflation has been crazy high lately. So, all right. So there's this. It's now 7 a.m. market time here. Guys, SPY started to dip. We can look at the Q here. Again, Exxon released the earnings. Again, there's the Q at 340s. We got to watch NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a big one to watch. Tesla, NVIDIA at 410s, basically. Tesla at 210s. Apple had a pretty big dip. It's at 167. Xmas will get GDP at 6%. Maybe. All right, so we'll see if we get some good day trades in, man. You'll see up or down. Yeah, looking at the poll numbers here. So got about 100 votes. 53% are bullish, 47% are bearish. Let's do a Twitter poll. All right, so again, PC inflation data drops in about 2 hours. Vote on the poll. We got a poll on Twitter. Wait, let me edit this. I forgot I gotta edit this. Wait, I'm unable to edit polls. Refresh it. Here, let me copy and delete this. So I'm going to say core PCE. Core PC is the big one. All right, so with this type of stuff, core PC is always the big one. As expected. Yeah, core with PCE, core is always the big one. There we go. Hey, my guy Arif, thanks so much for the $10, brother. Shout out to you, man. Thanks so much, dude. Appreciate the love. My portfolio's green for the month. Yeah, hey, thanks so much, dude. With all this crappy market. Thanks to your insights. Hey, thanks so much, man. I appreciate the support. Again, I can't guarantee you're gonna make money. I always just try to be honest with people about my own buys. Like it's funny how many people like get emotional and treat this like the Bloods versus Crips. You know, like I think so many people get wrapped up in like either politics or like movies like The Big Short or other trading gurus predicting some big parabolic market crash, right? And a lot of these guys have been saying the SPY was going to crash since the SPY was at 380s. You know what I mean? And the SPY's at 414s, 415s, and they're trying to use a couple months of bear action as justification to prove the market is crashing, right? It's surprising how many people take like a weird approach in which they treat you like, if you disagree with sentiment, that you're the enemy. You know, and it just kind of shows why most traders don't actually make money is because they're so emotional, man. Like, I don't know how many fake accounts I've seen ask me the same question, like desperately trying to troll me. And it's like, bro, if that's what y'all are doing with your life, man, like, you know, like I feel for you guys. I do. Find something else to do, bro. I'm doing this because I make money doing it, you know. Hey, nice, sir. Amazon up over 6%. Yeah, Amazon flew. Amazon's doing great, honestly. Amazon looked good. I need a haircut. Apple finally testing that 167. It was slightly green on the day. Again, we can look at gold. Gold's testing 2000. Yeah, it's at 1992 right now, but I hope gold breaks it. Are we going to see something like a 2 to 3% drop? Yeah, 100%, Dwight. Like, again, I think a lot of short-term traders that are like, I think what happens, this is what I truly think happens. And I'm going to preface what I'm about to say with like, look, it's all love here, guys. It really is, team. Like, it really is all love. Like, it doesn't need to be like, you don't need to be mad at me if I disagree with you, right? But I think what happens is that like I cover the economy, right? And a lot of short-term traders come from other channels like with really short-term trading. And I short-term trade too, right? But I'm one of those day traders that also invests and follows the economy really closely. You know, so it's like I short-term trade, but I also long-term invest. I also swing trade. Like I do a lot of longer-term trading as well. And so I think when people come from short-term trading to this, you know, a lot of the time when you look at stuff short-term, you have this really one-dimensional mindset of like good and bad days, good and bad days. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of traders haven't really experienced like deep red days before, deep green days before. And so when they start watching these economic reports followed by like maybe a day which we're having really reddish action, like we're dropping like 1%, you know, they start to think it's the end of the world, right? And they start to say, aha, you know, these gurus who told me the market was going to crash were right. When really like a market crash, guys, is like 25%. You know what I mean? And again, so to put this into perspective, for the SPY to actually drop that much, you know, like that's, and it would have to do it soon. It's not going to be like if it's over a couple months, it's not a crash. It's more so like a correction is what you want to call it. But again, we're just so far away from that right now. You know, we still have a long way to go before we do anything like that, you know. Like even this whole drop, like this whole dip that we've had for months is less than 10%, right? Which means that like for a market crash to actually be here, you know what I mean? Like for a market crash to actually be here, like we're going to have to drop to 380s, you know, 370s. And we're just nowhere near that. And so it's fine to be bearish. It's fine to bet on crashes or whatever it is. And I'm not mad at you if you do it. All I'm saying is don't get mad at me if I'm skeptical, you know? And I think that should be understandable. I'm not, but at the same time, just to give you the other side of that, I'm not actually buying up anything right now either. I'm pretty neutral because I don't necessarily trust the market. And I think with the FOMC next week, there's a lot of potential headwinds that we could face over the next 6 months to where I'm a little bit careful right now in terms of taking big positions. In 2014, a Russian man, Sergei Grigoriev, adopted a bear cub and raised it like his child. 4 years later, after years of bonding, the bear rejected its daily food and proceeded to eat Sergei. When the police arrived, all that remained was a pile of bones. Is this a real story? I don't know. Again, Apple just broke under the previous closing price, technically going green on the day. We're at 414s on the SPY. Let's see if we hold the Q under 346s. Tribalism, yeah. Exxon Mobil's are out. Numbers are out. Exxon missed EPS, beat sales, raised their quarterly dividend to 95 cents. All right, guys. Again, SPY started to fall. The Q down to 346. Is Apple now technically red on the day? We'll see if we hold, man. Yeah, I'm reading the AMC community. Is the AMC community still waiting for the squeeze that never came? Hey, what's up, Beach? Yeah. Disney at 79.70s. I'm down $25 from Disney right now. My average price is 81. I'll probably just sit on it though. Again, I've been usually Disney's my favorite thing to trade, but as we've been bearish the last couple months, I haven't really taken a huge size in it. I took profit the last time at like 86s. You're holding 20 shares left, so. All right, team. SPY pulling back, Q pulling back, gold pulling back, Apple pulling back. All right, guys. Let's see if we get a pop. Yeah, tricky market for sure. What's crazy about Amazon? There's no gap to fill. We went from 125 down to 118 and then back to 125 all within an hour yesterday. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Amazon, the only problem is that it has a PE ratio that's pretty freaking high. If you have 25K in your margin account and you buy some stocks at 10K, then the price drops by 1%. You can still day trade with it, even though it's lower than 5K after the drop. Yeah. Yeah. So, like, you have to have like equity. You have to have equity over, or you have to have at least $25,000 in total account equity. So basically, you can buy stocks with the 25K. You just have to have $25,000 worth of it. Now, if you buy stocks that get really weak and crash, and your equity, your total equity, including stocks you're holding, drops under 25K, then you're in trouble. But not in trouble, but then you got to add more money if you want to keep day trading. Dixie's going up. Well, the dollar index is just going to move up because the markets are moving down and vice versa. And so there's Dixie's interesting to watch, but it's also pretty obvious what it does, which is just the opposite of equities. Yeah, Amazon's still holding pretty well with Amazon earnings yesterday. You know, Amazon's still pushing up a lot. Oh man, Twitter's funny. So a guy on Twitter, I'm quoting a guy on Twitter. I got a neck tattoo that says, "I didn't get the job, did I?" That's honestly a great idea, you know. I don't think the world really judges tattoos anymore. Like, I'm not against tattoos at all, you know. Like, get a tattoo if you want. Carol's got a bunch of tattoos. I have a bunch of tattoos. Like, get tattoos if you want. Now, I'm not really gonna get any on my face, but I'm not really gonna judge you if you do either, you know. But at the same time, if you're gonna get a bunch of them, if you're gonna get a bunch of tattoos, you know, you gotta just be prepared for people to judge you for it. It's part of what happens. Yeah, so I'm looking at this EV thing. And so exactly 1 year ago today, Elon Musk acquired Twitter for $44 billion. Actually, maybe it was yesterday. People are mad Elon didn't buy Bitcoin. All right, so again, some guy named Jason Williams is reporting that Bitcoin ETF approval is reportedly expected within 24 hours. Within 24 hours. All right, so we did the PCE poll. 50% think we're going to come in higher. 16.7% think lower. 33.3% think as expected. Ford pauses the $12 billion EV investment amid high costs. Amazon CEO says cost-cutting strategy boosts profit margins to near record highs. All right, guys, PCE data dropping soon. Apple calls are the play. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's down a lot. I could probably get down with Apple calls. Again, PCE data is pretty relevant, and so a lot of people are going to be kind of waiting for this number to drop. And so if PCE data comes in high, then Apple could still tank, you know. Again, hit that like button, guys. Let's break 100 likes if we can. Appreciate the love. We still got an hour plus until this data comes out. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. Let's keep the growth up. My Twitter's mostly filled with poker players that I'm following, you know. How are the Bengals doing this year? The Bengals are 3 for 3. I mean, the Ravens are doing good, but honestly, they're in a pretty bad. They're in a pretty bad, you know. All right, so again, $4.5 billion worth of Bitcoin and ETH options apparently expired today. So Steve Cohen is expecting a fake scare recession this year. He says the U.S. economy may fall into a short-lived recession before rebounding the first quarter of 2024. So Ackman, Dalio, Burry, Gross, all bearish. Steve's one of the only bulls, you know, and billionaires, that is. What do you guys think? Optimization is the new AI pump phase. U.S. directly involved. Yeah, that 10-year treasury needs to stay under 4.9% today. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're watching it. Yesterday, 4.9 GDP. Because it's political, Fred. Let me make sure my mic is sounding clear. Okay, yeah, it sounded clear. Good. Dump and pump. I expect PCE massive dump passing 4,100. Maybe. Look at the new iPhone. It's just like the last iPhone. Apple, no innovation. Yeah, I mean, Apple, they got the lock on young people. And so, but I mean, at a certain point, technologically, like, what else are they going to do? You know what I mean? Like, at a certain point, you surpass any capability, I think. Yeah, but Fu, I mean, that's just sensationalism. You know, like the reality is a recession is 2 consecutive losing GDP quarters. And, you know, yesterday GDP came in at 4.9%. You know what I mean? So, like, we're definitely not there right now. Maybe we'll hit one early next year. Maybe we'll hit one, you know, sometime soon. But we're definitely not there yet. Again, GDP at 4.9%. It's just not, you know. Man, dude, I see this video of this guy. All right, guys, slap the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's been a freaking crazy packed week full of stuff. Again, hit the like button as well. We got 71 likes. Let's break 100 likes. Let's break 100 likes if we can. Amazon earnings yesterday. Apple earnings next week. PCE data coming out soon. Investors should be putting at least 80% of their portfolios in stocks and hard assets, according to Larry Fink at BLK. I don't know. 80% is pretty heavy. You know, bonds are pretty high right now. So locking in some good bond yields long term as a hedge makes perfect sense, I think, right now. Can I trade bonds? I've never tried on TOS. Can I buy like symbols, bond symbols directly if there are bonds? And I'm not talking about yields. I'm talking about actual bonds. Can I buy them on TOS? I'm assuming I can. I just haven't tried. Say, how much is a 6-month bond? So a 6-month bond is at 5.5% compared to so. US 6M. Let's see, 6-month bond. Looking for this now. No, it's not bigger than CPI for sure. You know, so it's definitely not bigger than CPI for sure. CPI is the biggest release. The Fed uses this one a little bit more heavily. All right, guys, we got an hour here, team. Hour. Today, effect only watch. Yeah, TLT is not a bond. It's an ETF. Ramsey. Yeah, ExxonMobil numbers are out. They missed EPS beat sales, raised their dividend to 95 cents versus 94 cent expectation. All right, so Google pays $18 billion a year to be Apple's default search. All right, guys, we got PCE inflation data today. Again, GDP rose to 4.9% yesterday. You know, not really looking like a recession. All right, guys. Almost 300 people here, less than an hour before PCE data. Hey, what's up, Puts? What's up, Sin? John, Samsung has a TV that's 146 inches called the Wall for $220,000 on their website. Isn't that crazy? I ain't freaking buying that, bro. $220,000, dude. I could buy a house for that. I mean, unless anybody buying that is, I'm not gonna say they're dumb. You know, if they have less than $1 billion, they're dumb. Okay, let me rephrase. If they have less than 200 million, they're dumb. Okay, if you got over 200 million, do whatever you want. But if you're going to spend $220,000 on a TV, what you have to understand, the reason I'm saying it's dumb, right? If you have a little bit of money here, is that TVs and technology in general evolves so freaking quickly. It's one of the reasons why a 10-year-old TV is freaking prehistoric TV, right? And the reason for that is because technology evolves. Same thing with computers, same thing with PCs, same thing with laptops, right? A 10-year-old laptop is crazy, old and just not sustainable to use anymore. Not useful to use anymore. Not sustainable. Not useful to use anymore. And so spending $220,000 on a 100-something inch TV, unless you're just rich, like hundreds of million rich, is dumb. The only way I would do it is if you could actually make it back. Like the only way I would say maybe it's worth it is if you could actually make it back, in that you could film so much with it, you could make so much content with it that you could grow. Maybe that's, imagine me buying that thing and trading on it. All right, so Sam Bankman-Fried says he is not sure who decided to send stolen FTX customers to Alameda. Yeah, get out of here, bro. Yeah, today's definitely important. John is at it again, the man in the morning. Yeah. Yeah, you got to be FU rich. You got to have enough money to where you don't need anything ever again, bro. Again, I'm not going to be caught spending $220,000 on a freaking TV, bro. Absolutely not, man. $220K, bro. I'm going to buy a house. Put some renters in that house, bro. I'm definitely not going to be buying a TV for $220,000. The problem with people with money, right? The problem with people, like, you'll see how smart somebody with money is real quick. Like a lot of people with $1 million, they spend 20% on a freaking car. The dumbest thing ever. You're gonna spend 20% of your million on a wildly depreciating asset. Just dumb, not smart, right? That car's gonna depreciate so much by the time you sell it, but you're just not gonna get anything from it, and you're gonna spend a huge chunk of your investment on nonsense. You get $1 million. The smart thing to do. invest half of it at least. You know, take 500K, put it into bonds, put it into the S&P 500. You know, put it into real estate. Like maybe buy a couple rental properties that are cheap, like 200,000 rental properties. Those are usually the best bang for your buck in terms of appreciation over time, as well as, you know, rental income, right? So you take, you know, 20% of it, you put it into rentals, or you take 40% of it, put it into rentals, take 100, maybe 150K, stick it into bonds, you know, real gold, the S&P 500, and then live off the other 300K or whatever's left, right? That's what you do with it. Again, to put it into perspective, right? A lot of people don't understand. If you buy 10-year bonds right now, right? So if you buy a 10-year bonds, right? Say you spend, again, I gave this number before. Say you spent 300,000 on 10-year bonds, right? They're paying about 5% right now. And so I don't even have to do the math. So if you buy $300,000 in bonds, right, yearly, you're going to make about $15,000 a year off of $300,000 in 10-year bonds right now, right? So you're going to make about 15K a year, right? Honestly, a lot of people could live off of 15K, right? So if you took 300K and just stuck it in bonds, every year you would get paid 15K for that. And then at the end of the 10-year period, you're going to get your 300K back. You know what I mean? So over that 10-year period, number one, you're going to get $15,000 a year. And so on a monthly perspective, on a monthly perspective, you're going to make over $1,000 a month just by bonds, right? You're going to make over $1,000 a month. A lot of people can live off of that depending on where you live. A lot of people can't, but a lot of people can depending on where you live, right? And then at the end, and so again, let's do that. Let's do the math here. 15K, you know, times 10. You're going to make $150,000 in profit off of that 10-year bond. And then at the end of it, you're going to get your 300K back. So you're going to earn 50%. And then at the end of it, you're going to get your 300K back, right? And that's just bonds, right? So then if you put another 100,000 in the S&P 500 and that appreciates, you're going to make more. You know, if you put it in real estate, you're going to earn rental income and bring it in, right? You know, so again, that's what you do. And that's how you set yourself up to retire early, by getting large chunks of money. The problem is that people get $1 million and they stick it in, they buy a Lamborghini with it, and they spend 25% of their money on a freaking nonsense vehicle. And it's just not smart. You gotta diversify, be smart with your money, you know. Hey, nice puts. Congrats, man. I'm not saying you can't buy a nice TV, dude. Again, I'm not saying don't buy a nice TV. What I'm saying is don't spend $200,000 on a dumb TV that's gonna be worthless in 10 years. Maybe not worthless, but definitely not what it was. Yeah, I mean, it depends on how much you win in the lottery, Snow. It really depends on how much you win. You know what I mean? Like, listen, if you win hundreds of million, I mean, you got FU money now. Like, do what you want to do. Like, as long as you can take, again, okay, if you ever win the lottery, okay, again, if you ever win the lottery, always take the lump sum if it's large enough, you know, at least. And then say you won $10 million. You take $5 million. Again, same logic. You take $5 million. You buy 10-year bonds with it right now. Again, you're gonna earn 5%, right? So you're gonna earn $250,000 a year in interest payments and profit payments every year with $5 million, right? And so again, you do that, like you're set for life. Nobody really is gonna need over $250,000 a year in income. Nobody's really gonna need that. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's going to need over 250K. And so you can essentially live off of the bond payments that you get. Dividends are different. And the S&P 500 on average pays almost twice as much, right? So anyways, I'll start ranting. PCE data dropping in 50 minutes, guys. 50 minutes. Gold, push it up today. Buy gold. I'm a big believer in gold, too. Gold has like 6x'd over the last 25 years. It's outperformed the S&P and the NASDAQ, too. Well, it depends on where you live, Zen. You said I make 230K. You should never feel like that with 230K, bro. 230K is plenty of money, man. You know, you're in the top 10% with that. Yeah, you're living in the wrong place, though, bro. No, I never said 230 is FU money. What I said was there's a difference between never having to work again, and FU money, though. You know, FU money is, I would say FU money is over 10 mil. You know. See, I'm watching this guy. He said, bought a couch, waited 3 months for it. Company filed for Chapter 11. Now I'm a creditor. Didn't expect to get rug pulled by my furniture company. Yeah, hey, I feel you, man. All right, so again, Kathy Wood's coming out on Twitter saying, quote, government statistics do not seem to be capturing how weak the economy is. Many companies are reporting shockingly weak revenues. UPS's U.S. delivery volume growth is worse today than in 2007. After falling for nearly 2 years, it dropped another 11% last quarter. Yeah, but most stuff's coming in better than expected, right? Like most revenue is higher than expected. You know, like singling out UPS to argue is not the most reasonable, I think. She continues, again, quoting, this is Kathy Wood on Twitter. At first, I thought that Amazon was still taking share and causing problems, but this chart suggests that the market share has changed very little since 2020. Well, right. But I mean, 2020 was the pandemic year. They had a massive boost. Like, it's not reasonable to expect Amazon to be able to keep up with 2020 levels because everybody was sitting at home with nothing to do in 2020. So, of course, Amazon was thriving in that year, and it's going to be hard to keep up with that pace, of course. That should be very self-evident. You know, like you're not going to be able to keep up with the pandemic pace because everybody's not sitting at home anymore ordering stuff off of Amazon. You know, it doesn't mean Amazon's necessarily weak. It just means that we're not all sitting at home anymore. Again, continuing to quote, she said, quote, this week another economic bellwether, 3M, reported the global organic sales dropped more than 3% year over year on a local currency basis last quarter. The services side of the economy is unlikely to escape the global monetary tightening that is gripping these companies. Again, continuing, in a strong third quarter report, Meta Platforms mentioned that Chinese advertising focused on consumers in the developed world was material to its 21% increase in constant currency revenues. We believe that in response to domestic weakness, China is exporting deflation. Also, as a result, this week, 2 life sciences companies that have managed earnings and delighted both the sell side and the buy side for the street years, Thermo Fisher and Danaher, hit air pockets and corroborated that China might not be the world's growing engine anymore. So why is the U.S. employment still so strong, supporting the government's point of view? In our view, labor hoarding after 2 years of vacancies is a reason on the demand side, while loss of purchasing power, especially food and energy, is a reason on the supply side. But if we are right, the price that we are about to unravel and crush margins, then companies will be forced to not only lay off excess labor, but also to harness AI and other automation to salvage margins. Innovation solves problems and gains traction during tough times. That, honestly, this is one time I actually agree with Kathy Wood. You know, basically what she's saying is that companies' revenues are struggling, and in that regard, it makes perfect logical sense that because of these struggling revenues, that companies are eventually going to lay off people, and what they're going to do in turn from that is harness tech and AI to compensate for the layoffs that they needed to make to improve their revenue margins, if that makes sense, right? And so in that regard, overall, it's going to be good for AI, I guess, is her argument. But let me know what you guys think. Again, PCE inflation data dropping in 45 minutes. We'll see if we get anything good. But yeah, PCE data dropping soon. Amazon needs to fix Thursday Night Football. Buy everything today. I don't know, man. I don't think it's like that. Gold popping up to 1992. Again, we're watching Apple pretty closely as well. Again, Apple's been on a pretty obvious downtrend too. Apple's one of those stocks that I'm thinking about buying, though. All right, team. All right, so 82.4% of homeowners in the U.S. have a mortgage rate under 5%, according to Redfin. Loaded Apple as well. Apple's what I'm thinking about buying up, but who knows, man? Again, maybe. Again, slap the like button. Did we break 100 likes yet? Yeah, we did. Thanks so much. That gas, nice move. The gap down won't be massive. Yeah. Again, maybe Apple's good. I don't know, man. Again, slap the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, guys. We appreciate the love. Again, looking at our votes here on everything. See about our Twitter poll. 40 minutes. 50% think higher than expected. 25% think lower. 25% think as expected. Yeah, look at the SPY dip down a little bit here. And again, I added a little bit to my Apple play. I'm probably going to sit on the rest. Again, vote on the poll that we just did. Jamie Dimon just sold $140 million worth of JP Morgan stock. All right, team. Again, Q at 346.20s, 346.20s. Oh my god. Sorry, dude. Twitter's freaking crazy sometimes, man. All right, team. Yeah, I mean, Jamie Dimon just sold pretty big share size. Hey, what's up, Ray? I like Kathy for her courage, but she sold her video at the bottom just to buy amazing stocks that went down 80%. Maybe her D. Yeah, I mean, again, long term, maybe, but what's up, Douglas Leslie? What's up, Forrest? Affairs. PC will come in hot year over year. The year over year one's not the most important one. The month over month one is the relevant one. What's up, Ali? What's up, Isaac? Buy now, pay later is getting ridiculous. You can now finance shoes. They're letting people's bad spending habits like hurt themselves. Like they're letting people's bad spending habits get them into debt. Like financing shoes is the dumbest freaking idea you could ever freaking do, man. You know? Yeah, Ford had pretty rough earnings. But yeah, like financing shoes is just not a smart move, you know? What's up, Sand? Yeah, we'll see about the recession delayed. I'm not sure. Yeah, JP Morgan dropping on that news for sure. Totally regret my ARK investments. Those are never coming back regardless. Kathy's 5-year argument along for the ride at this point. Yeah, I mean, 5 years, they might be okay. The problem I have with Kathy's buys, and again, I guess it doesn't matter as much, but the problem I have with them is that she seems to be buying up really hyped up stocks. I'm not really a big hyped up stock buyer. I usually buy pullback stocks that dip down heavy, you know? All right, the SPY has basically been falling down for, you know, over an hour straight. You know, we basically been falling down. So maybe we'll see who knows what. But again, markets are falling pretty quickly here. What 5 years? She bought and sold Tesla many times this year. She's literally doing swing trading and keep losing. Market is already down, so what will happen if PCA came more than 0.3%? It'll probably drop more. Intuition. I mean, higher is worse, right? This is inflation data. So higher is worse, lower is better, right? We come in really low, market might bounce. We come in really high, market might fall. And so it's inflation data, you know, and that's what you want to understand is it's just inflation data. So poker pro Sean Sheikman is facing 20 years in prison for running an illegal cannabis business. His attorney is pleading with the court for probation. All right, team. Again, will we get good action? Will gold break $2,000? It's close. Yeah, best recession ever, 4.9%. It's the Toyota warning EV enthusiasts. We'll see if it turns into anything. Again, a year ago, Elon purchased. Right, here's Tesla. Again, Tesla up a little bit today. Pretty good gap up. The SPY is technically green too, though, but it's basically giving back everything. You see the previous closing price on the SPY is 412.55. Tesla at 208.60s here. So, it's trying. We still got over 30 minutes before this inflation data comes out. Over 30 minutes. Again, PCE data is pretty big. Again, 82.5% of people have mortgage rates under 5% in the U.S. So, all right, so we're still dipping here. Let's watch the 208 level one Tesla. I think it's a very relevant spot. Hey, we got 430 people here. Slap the like button, hit the subscribe button. We still got 30 plus minutes. Rivian sales helped Amazon to beat earnings. 225 calls on Tesla versus December looking good. I don't know, man. I mean, Tesla, it's very possible it hits 225 for sure. But it's not 100%. Hey, thanks, Guts. What about Bitcoin? Yeah, Bitcoin. Still sitting at 34.5K. It's basically been here all morning, and most of yesterday it's been sitting between 34K and 35K. So, Bitcoin been pretty stagnant. A lot of people, insiders specifically, are saying that they think the Bitcoin ETF is going to get approved pretty soon. We'll see, but that's what a lot of them are saying. Yeah. So Treasury Secretary Yellen said the surge in longer-term bond yields in the recent months is a reflection of a strong U.S. economy, not the jump in government borrowing driven by fiscal deficits. Yeah, I mean, Intel dropped earnings yesterday. Intel actually did pretty good if we look at it. So again, here's Intel. The only earnings yesterday that really did well aside from Amazon. Amazon finally starting to pull back. It's at 126. The other earnings yesterday, Ford, Enphase, Skechers, which came in mixed. This morning we had Exxon and Chevron. Exxon actually back up some, Chevron down. So Exxon had mixed results as well. They came in better than expected for revenue, but worse than expected for EPS. They also raised their dividend a little bit higher than expected also. And again, here's Tesla. Tesla at 208.60s. We'll see if it actually holds. SPY still pulling back. Apple red on the day as well still. So Apple all the way down to 166. US dollar rip it up so bearish. Yeah, I mean, the SPY's fallen down. You can kind of see this dip in the SPY that we've had. You know, the SPY's basically been dropping all morning. You can see it. You know, but we're still technically green. Here's the previous closing price. So that's the level at which the market's red to green, green to red. So the market's still technically green on the day. All right, guys, get ready for PCE data. I'm ready. We'll see if we get something good. Yeah, so 7 stocks holding up the market. So China selling treasuries. They still hold about $1,800 billion worth of bonds, though. All right, so Michelin is going to close its Oklahoma tire plant, laying off about 1,400 workers. The S&P 500 is basically unchanged over the last 30 months. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at some other store. Prices could also be dropping because of quantitative tightening. The Fed owns a lot of the stock market. Yeah, maybe. SPY 403. SPY's actually at 414s right now, to be honest. So I don't know if you're making a prediction or what. Yeah, so again, this is the last big economic report this month. You know, we got Thursday. Wednesday we got the FOMC meeting. I think we got a couple economic reports next week, but this is the last big one for sure. Again, so next week, just to put this into perspective, right? So next week we have, I mean, I don't know, Tuesday we got some stuff. And yeah, basically nothing Monday. I think we might have some earnings next week, though. Let's see what we have next Monday in terms of earnings. Okay, we have some things in the morning. We got SoFi, McDonald's, Western Digital, HSBC, Jinko Solar, and a lot of other earnings in the morning on Monday. So we'll cover those two. I started to bounce back up a little bit. Let's see if we can catch some news on this. Again, we still got 25 minutes or so until inflation data starts. AbbVie posted results. So AbbVie posted results about 20 minutes ago. They came in better than expected for EPS, better than expected for sales, raised their fiscal year guidance and EPS. So that's good. But yeah, SoFi Monday will be the big one. SoFi expecting 7-cent loss per share. Are y'all believers in SoFi? SoFi's been one of those companies where I'm just skeptical of. You know, I'm just skeptical. All right, so we did get a little pop. Tesla still testing these highs up here. Yeah, market definitely needs a green day. VIX getting warmed up again too. So yeah, I think people are just prepping for PCE volatility. VIX is still down on the day, which means volatility is lower, but solar stocks are crushing. I don't know if I believe in solar like that. Yeah, I'm not sure about SoFi. SoFi, the long-term chart's just not very impressive. You know what I mean? The weekly chart looks really rough. You know, in 2021, it was at $28. It's at $7.6 now. So looking rough. Well, that just means you're pretty bearish, Ethan. That just means you're betting on a crash or whatever. You know, not again. Think about how many different outlets make predictions on the direction of stocks. You know what I mean? Like everybody makes predictions on the bet of stocks. You know, so it just means maybe they're bearish or maybe they're bullish. We'll see. All right, so about 10% of consumer items were downsized from 2015 to 21, while 4% were upsized. All right. Yeah, so we're checking up on news. Again, we got 20 plus minutes until these numbers drop, guys. 20 plus minutes. All right, SPY bouncing back up a little bit here, guys. SPY bouncing up a little bit. Get ready for PCE data. Again, we got 20 minutes until PCE data comes out. 20 minutes. Again, SoFi down. SoFi drops Monday. Gold has been on a pretty big increase here, team. So gold has been moving up a lot. If we look at actual gold, Tesla here, when we look at a long-term chart on Tesla, here's a weekly chart. Do y'all think this weekly chart on Tesla looks good or bad? What do you guys think? So we're right around 200 on Tesla right now, right around 200. If PCE is high, wouldn't that mean the economy is strong? Not necessarily. PCE is more of an inflation gauge. I mean, it's personal consumption expenditures, but it gauges inflation and inflation problems. LMA, oh, your answer to anyone bearish is they want the market to crash. You of all people should know that it's not it, dude. I'm not, listen, Ethan, it's all love here, bro. What I'm saying, man, is that think about how many publications have bearish views too, brother. You know what I mean? So like, think about how many investment news channels or whatever have bearish views as well as bullish views. Like, listen, I look at these pretty regularly. I see a lot on both sides. I see a lot of bullish views, a lot of bearish views by major news outlets, right? And so, you know what I mean? For you to be super upset about a bullish one just means that you're pretty bearish. And that's okay, man. You know, that's okay. My point is they're a dime a dozen in terms of news outlets, bullish or bearish action. Like, that's pretty standard in what they do. If you look at most of these places, like you look at Benzinga, you look at TD Ameritrade, you look at Schwab, you look at State Street, you look at all these different ones. They'll all have different views as well as different outlooks and everything like that. You know what I mean? So for you to label it that, I mean, again, it just means that you're pretty heavily on the other side, brother. You know, maybe I'm wrong, though. If I'm wrong, it's all good. Again, it's all love here. It doesn't matter too much. Again, I'm kind of flat right now. I'm not really the most bullish right now. Like, I'm not super bullish either. I think the market has some risks right now, specifically over the next couple of months, in which, you know, we could be in trouble. And so again, I'm not the big perma bull right now. I'm not like super bullish. I'm a little skeptical. But I also think stuff's probably pretty cheap, and that over the long run, if you buy now, you'll probably be okay. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Again, guys, we got about 20 minutes here, 20 minutes. Slap the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I appreciate the love. Yeah, I usually tell people it's all love so they don't get too upset, you know. People get mad really easily, and they get like really offended, and you know, like and I'm not talking about Ethan here. I think some people are just trying to like poke buttons and make me mad, and so when I respond with it's all love, it's kind of like, you know, they can't really say much. They can't really be like, oh, you're so mad, because I respond that way. Yeah, we'll see about PCE. Yeah, we got over 500 people here live. Bullish for the next week. I think the SPX might rally 3% and Q 5% a week. Hey, maybe. I think we're down enough to where it's possible for sure. You know, again, I always say it's the stock Dunning-Kruger effect. Right? If you don't know what I mean by that, just to put this into perspective. Okay, so the Dunning-Kruger effect basically shows that. Okay, so the Dunning-Kruger effect basically means that the people who think they're the smartest are usually the least intelligent, right? And the people who underestimate their intelligence and admit that they're not, don't brag about being smart, or don't brag about being the most intelligent. They don't brag about being right. They don't brag about, they don't act like they know everything, are usually the most intelligent people, right? It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. The people who think they know the most usually know the least, and vice versa, right? And so in stocks, the way I use it is that the people who act like they know the most definitively about what's going to happen usually are the most wrong, right? And I see this a lot. I see people say, hey guys, the bottom is in. The bottom is in. The bottom is in. And then we drop 10%. You know, they're yelling at everybody, telling everybody to buy. The bottom's in. The bottom's in. Then we drop another 10%, right? Or you see it on the other side saying, hey, everybody, the market's going to crash. The market's going to crash. People were saying the market was going to crash at 370, and then we bounce. And so in the end, the overarching point I'm trying to make is that if you see somebody with super definitive predictions, like this is going to happen, like the SPY is going to be here in a month, or the Q is going to be here in a month, run far away, because nobody freaking knows where anything is going to be. All we can do is try to predict what's going to happen. Nobody knows though. And so I would rather take mild predictions instead of definitive statements over what's going to happen. And so I hope that makes sense. Anyways, guys, hey, we got 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Tesla testing the 200 EMA, the volume weighted average price. The SPY at 413s, 414s. Yeah, Kramer might be a good example. I just think we're not done correcting, getting possible close. VIX pretty decent. Yeah, for sure. It's all good. So if your PCE forecast is 3, it will be 4 is bearish. Yes, most likely. I mean, it's not never 100%, probably. Yeah, the only people that really know for sure are people who are insiders within stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't really group everything together. People can have high conviction, and that's fine. But there's a difference between having high conviction and telling everybody in the chat to do something, and then being wildly wrong about what you tell people in chat to do. You know what I mean? Like, that is actually toxic. You know, and I would rather stay really, really safe and not tell anybody to do anything. You know, but that's me personally, and I have a lot of, you know, I have to be that way because I run a large community on YouTube. You know, so like I have to be very careful with what I say, because I don't want people copying me. I don't want people following me. I always make it very clear I'm not an expert. I'm not a guru. I don't even claim to be profitable. I don't claim to be anything. I don't want people to follow me in anything. All right, guys. SPY starting to bounce back up ahead of this economic report here, team. Let's see if what stocks are actually causing it. Tesla back up over the VWAP. It's not really Apple. We can look at Meta here, green on the day. Microsoft still green, although less green. Google up a little bit today as well. Gold's trying to bounce. Tesla fighting its way back up, so maybe it's from Tesla, the increase there. Any other stocks that you see moving up? I can look at like banks, I guess. Banks are still down pretty heavily. Oh, Powell definitely knows, but he's just not allowed to say. Kramer. The Kramer curse actually works, which is shocking. Hey, what's up, Tiny? Yeah. Happy Friday. Again, SPY at 414s. We'll see if it holds Tesla. Tesla up to 210s. Again, gold at 1992s. What's the Q at right now? Let's take a look. So let's see what tech is doing relative to the SPY. So tech is up some, but it looks like an underreaction versus what the SPY is actually doing. Hey, bud. How you doing today, man? Love you, buddy.
Love you too.
You doing all right? Hey. Yeah, my son is right here. What's him? What's this thing? What's this guy called?
An iron golem.
An iron golem. Yeah, the Q pushing up again. Tesla, a little underwhelming reaction to everything right now. That's the fake Tesla. There's the real Tesla. Tesla at 210s. Would you like an electric car, Jack? Would you? Some of the electric cars, they drive themselves, so you don't even have to drive them. They sit there and they steer and they drive themselves. The robots. They're robot cars. Cool, huh? Yeah, in phase with really bad earnings report. Why'd you take that off, bro? Don't break it. Yeah, it's all good. You know, a lot of people, they super glue their Legos. So when they're done putting them together, you know, they super glue it. Yeah. But you got to super glue it as you're putting it together, and you got to be incredibly careful not to do a wrong thing because it's super glued. Once it's in, it's in. You can't fix it. So you got to be perfect with doing it. Huh? Well, just work on your next one. Yeah, I mean, we'll get you another one eventually. Just super glue those. All right, guys. Again, SPY up to 413s. Tesla up to 210s. Are you going to teach him trading when he gets old enough, if he wants to learn? You want to learn trading when you get older? Yeah? Okay. BP and Tesla news yesterday. No, I didn't hear that. NVIDIA bounced it up a little bit too. NVIDIA up to 411s right now, basically. Gold's still moving up. NVIDIA is definitely one of the stocks that's helping the market look better. Not the best volume, but NVIDIA needs the increase here. That's cool. 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes. BP investing 100 mil into Tesla. Yeah. Love you, buddy. All right, look at the SPY trying to hold the volume weighted average prices at 413s. Everybody say hey to Jack. Jack's here. Everybody say hey to him. Yeah, we'll have to do another Lego set. We're still working on the F1, but the F1 one might take a little bit more time. No, don't do that. It picks up on the stream. There you go. All right, guys, look at Tesla dip under the 200 EMA, under the volume weighted average price. Let's say sub Jack. What's up? Good morning, Jack. VP is buying charging stations, EV charging stations. That's interesting too. Yeah. Hi, buddy. Hey, come here. Hey, wait, come here. All right, guys, we got 8 minutes here. 8 minutes.
The person that said, "Where is the Lego?"
The Lego's right there, bro. You see it on top of my, you know. You're good, dude. It's all right. I can actually order another one, so you're fine, buddy. It's all right. All right, I love you, buddy. Have a good day, man. Yeah, so you're fine, buddy. Don't worry. Love you, bud. All right, guys. Yeah, sorry. You know, I'm super nice to my son right now because, you know, he's been kind of struggling in school. ADHD is tough on him. He's super smart, really high intelligence. We got his IQ tested when he was young. But I think sometimes when you're smart like that, it comes with its own set of like social problems. I think it's harder to get along with people, harder to engage socially with people easily. You know, I know it was for me growing up. You know what I mean? And I'm not even claiming to be super smart, but I know he struggles with it too. So that's why you kind of see me talk to him a little bit longer. Don't mean to ignore the stream, but, you know, kids are my main priority for sure. Anyways, NVIDIA up to 411s. Yeah, Tesla tech company, super tech-based, tech-heavy. Yeah, live stream starts early in the morning. All right, guys, gold's starting to rip up. It's at 1994 right now, 1994. Yeah, I mean, Jack's actually pretty social. You might not realize it, but like he walks up to people and says, "Hi, my name is Jack." And so it's not really autism. It's more so just like what they described it as, and we have him in therapy for it now, but what they described it as inappropriate social and some of his social skills are inappropriate. Now, he's not saying inappropriate like crazy things, but like as an example, if his friends are all talking about a pizza party on Friday, you know, Jack might say something completely independent and random to what they're talking about, and they might look at him kind of funny, like, "Hey, man, that has nothing to do with what you're talking about," you know. And so that's what he's working on. And it just because his mind, he's got 1,000 things going on in his head. And so, but he's super smart, really sweet kid. Anyways, gold pushing up. It's at 1995s. Tesla's a conglomerate. Yeah, it's definitely a lot. What's up, Fraser? Hey, thank you, Tessie. So does higher PCE mean dump? Probably. Yeah, higher PCE is not good. Higher PCE is bad. It's not what we want. We don't want high PCE. We want low PCE. Low PCE signals less inflation problems and no inflation problems, right? So that's what we want is lower PCE data. Yeah, I mean, I have ADHD as well. You could probably see it on the stream to a certain extent when I'll just kind of get silent for a little while. You know, the internet's kind of bad for it too. It doesn't really help. All right, team. Again, here we go. We got 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. I'm going to put it in sub-only mode so we can catch this. And so, again, slap the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. We got 4 minutes left. 4 minutes. All right, team. Again, very close. Expectations for today, guys. And again, so today, we got a gang of reports today. Specifically, PCE data is the big one. We also have Michigan consumer sentiment reports coming out at 10. We've got personal income and personal spending, which isn't the most relevant. We also have Barr speaking, Vice Chair Fed Barr speaking at 9 a.m. market time. We got Michigan 5-year, 1-year inflation expectations as well as consumer sentiment. But the big one is PCE in about 3 minutes here, team. 3 minutes. So again, stick around. Everybody announce yourself. Show us you're subscribed. All right, guys. About 3 minutes left. Yeah, the Fed talks a lot. This guy still has viewers. Yeah, I mean, we got almost 1,000 people here. We'll probably have over 1,000 when this data actually drops, you know. When you look this good, I mean, people just tune in, you know. I mean, what can I say? When you're this humble as well, you know. We just do what we can, you know what I mean? Fed talking a lot. Yeah, next week is the big Fed talk, though. The FOMC next Wednesday is going to be very relevant to everything going on right now. Hey, thank you, Anthony. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Need low, have a lot of swing trades. Hey, good luck, bro. Guts. Thanks, man. Yeah, definitely top 3 most humble traders ever. Nvidia at 410s right now. So Nvidia's one to watch as well. Tesla under the 200 EMA right now, which might be relevant for its movement here. Again, Tesla under the 200 EMA. We got the volume weighted average price. Will we get a bounce, man? The whole market's been pretty red over the last few weeks. We got a minute and a half left. Will we get a bounce, guys? Let me know. Oil looks like it might want to go to 90 bucks. Where's it at now? Let me see, CL. Yeah, I mean, it's at 85s basically right now. It could hit 90. It just depends. The stuff overseas has caused a lot of volatility in oil when it's pushed up a lot and comes back down a lot. All right, team. Hey, we got 1 minute. We basically got 1,000 people here. Sub if you haven't yet. We appreciate the love. We got 1 minute left. Yeah, again, we'll see. MA, no bounce. Market mayhem on site. Yeah, next week will be big. Yeah, we look at Bitcoin prices. We cover everything here as well. We got gold up, Bitcoin up, Tesla up, SPY up. We can put the Q up as well. I'm going to put the Q up over the SPY, I think, right now. See what this one's going to do. We're at 346 this year, 346s. Again, we got about 30 seconds left. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button to make sure you're fully caught up on stream. Again, make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up. It's been a busy week with freaking earnings and all this different stuff. But again, 20 seconds here, team. 20 seconds. GDP yesterday came in at 4.9%. Here we go. Here's PCE data. All right, there's the data release. Personal income came out, but PCE isn't out yet. Waiting for this PCE data to drop. Personal income and spending came out, but PCE data hasn't dropped yet. So waiting here, team, waiting. Market hadn't really responded much yet. PCE data still isn't out, I think. So market's still waiting on PCE. I don't see anything else reporting PCE either. We got personal income and spending. But again, the data's late. Data's late. All right, there we go. PCE data came in at 0.3% as expected. 0.3% for PCE data as expected. Core PCE on the year came in at 3.7% versus 3.7% expected. PCE on the month came in for core at 0.3%. 0.3%. Regular PCE came in at 0.4%, so slightly higher than expected. But most of this came in as expected here. Oh man, my headphones falling off. Yeah, we're a little bit late on PCE data. But again, it's all good. Market's actually responding slightly positively here. Tesla down a little bit. We can put up the SPY here as well. But very flat neutral reaction to this report here, which is interesting. Again, very flat neutral report. I'll put the data up on screen. We came in at 0.3% though, which is the main one, which is as expected. Everything basically as expected. We'll put this up on Twitter too. All right, so again, let's see what happens. Markets are pretty flat on this report, which is interesting here too. So again, we posted this on Twitter. Market Q starting to bounce up a little bit. SPY is kind of neutral here. What an underwhelming reaction throughout all this stuff. And again, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, team. We got about 1,200 people here live. Again, the Q and the SPY are actually starting to move up a little bit as well from it. Let's see what gold is doing. So oil is pushing up. Gold is pushing up. See what NVIDIA is doing. NVIDIA is pushing up some as well. So weird reaction to this. I mean, it came in as expected. Both the Q and the SPY are both over the 200 EMA. My guess is, it's neutral. So stocks are starting to rebound because of extension on the downside, maybe. We're already extended, already priced in to a certain extent. Yeah, as expected, good, already priced in. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Extension on the downside probably causing a bounce right now. Makes sense. Gold's starting to move up as well, and NVIDIA is too. So it's natural. Well, it's as expected. Good morning. Just got here. Why did you say next week is big? So next week we got the FOMC meeting, right? Which is one of the biggest releases that we do here is the FOMC meeting. We cover the FOMC meeting every week or every time it drops, and we stream the whole thing live. That's next Wednesday. We have Apple earnings next week. We've got non-farm payrolls and unemployment. We got non-farm employment change data. We got CB consumer confidence data, all dropping next week. So next week is another week where we're just packed with economic reports and data that we're going to cover here. Still fearing interest rates. Yeah, again, market mostly has reacted positively here as well. Let's see what Apple does. Yeah, Apple's starting to push up. Apple at 167s on the day now, 167. So Apple is looking up on this. Looking at the Q up. Tesla rising up pretty dramatically, although it did have a big retracement here. It went to 214s before retracing back down. Gold is starting to push up as well here. So gold's starting to move up. And again, if you want to check out one of my sponsors, check out Top Step. If you want to day trade these economic reports, you can day trade essentially the Q, essentially the SPY, and what's called the NASDAQ and the E-mini and futures. You can day trade short, buy market, buy bid, sell the ass, just like stocks, but there's no PDT rule, and they fund you if you're good enough to pass the test with a demo. So they give you a demo, test your skill. If you can pass it while following their rules, they fund you between $50,000 with a 90% split to $150K with a 90% split. They've been around for over a decade and pay out millions, fund thousands of traders a year. Great way to learn how to day trade, and if you lose, you're only out $49, but if you're good enough to pass it, you can get between 50 to 150K in funding with a 90% split. Just incredibly useful to limit your risk, as well as still learn how to trade under pressure. Great way to learn day trading with less risk. And if you want to check them out, they are a sponsor of mine. I'll put the link up in chat right here. Great way to help support your boy here. There's the link. Again, market's starting to push up towards highs again. Tesla up there to 211s. Here's the SPY. Again, so we're still trying to bounce. Again, the Q at 346s, SPY at 414s. Apple starting to press. Apple technically green on the day right now. Gold trying to be green too. Little dip though. Both of these are over the 200 EMA and the volume weighted average price. So maybe if we get a dip, we'll start trading some of this. We can put up some futures here. And again, if we're green, we can start trading some of it. All right, so here's NASDAQ. So again, here's the Q and Top Step. You can kind of see how I can day trade this. We got a little dip. Yesterday, we had a really good day. So again, if you look at yesterday's profit, we made about $950 yesterday. So that's nice. Intel beat earnings. Yes, they did good. They were one of the only ones that did good outside of Amazon yesterday. Ford did bad. Enphase did bad. So a big down wick. I don't trust this action. It's a little sketchy, but I'm going to buy one contract. See if we can build up a small little cushion first, and if not, we'll cut it quickly. Definitely a riskier trade. There we go. There we go. And we're trying to hold. We're up about $20. Look at the volatility of this trade. I'm gonna get ready to cut this though. I don't mind losing small. I just don't want to lose big. And so let's see if we pop back up. But Very close to cutting it. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut that. So again, we just lost a little bit, not really that much. We lost like 50 bucks. We'll see if this pullback works. I think we're pulling back, and I think we're probably gonna bounce still, but it's okay. Let's see what else we got. Again, we also have Michigan consumer sentiment and expectations dropping today, guys. So be ready for that too. All right, so we did get that pop back up that we thought we might. If I buy the dip now again, we'll try. A little risky, but we'll try. Again, we built up $1,000 cushion yesterday, so even if this doesn't work, we'll be all right. We'll take this 2 contracts here. And again, this is a combine account, so. I definitely don't want to get stuck in another breakdown here. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. I'm going to limit my risk. I'm down like 200 on the day, so I might just trade this account another day and walk away. Because again, the big edge with this system is very simple, right? Which is I can build up a cushion, and if I make a good day yesterday, I can make 900. On my losing days, I'm only going to be down 200 today, right? So small losses on these accounts, but larger wins when I got them. So again, yesterday I made 1,000. Today I lost 200. We're still up 800 over the last 2 days. So, and it looks like I got out right in time because the market absolutely just turned. Yeah, that's a big dip, man. It looks like we got out perfectly in time, dude. Could have been a lot worse, in all honesty. Again, hopefully, how are you guys doing this week? We're still up in this account on the week, like I said. So hopefully you guys are doing good as well. SPY pull it back to the 200 EMA now, dipping under it. All right, so we're going to trade. Look at this. Now we're completely neutral from this report, so we'll wait. Do you think the market will rise today? I don't know. It could. It also might not. You never really know. All right, we're gonna get rid of this timer. Look, so there's the NASDAQ turning it. So it looks like my exit there was the right move. Because, man, what a turn. I love the exit strategy, fair play. Yeah, I mean, again, it's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons, like, again, if we look at the last 2 days, right, I'm sure people are going to try to critique my trading the one time I'm losing. right? But again, they're just desperate to criticize most of the time. Like, again, if we look at the last 2 days here, let me see if I can refresh this. Like, I'll show you my profit graph pulled directly from the platform. So it's like I can't fake it. Let me pull it up. All right, so I'm pulling it up now. But yeah, so if you want to see my actual profit graph of the last 2 days, this is it. You know, and so what it enables me to do is have really big green days like yesterday, and then when I lose, I can lose small for sure. You know, and again, people will still try to hate, but like in the end, we're green. We're very green. We're still up 6 something. You know, and again, maybe we'll make some more today on a different account. We'll see. Right, exactly. What's more, you make more than you lose. Break even better this week. Yeah, it's better than a big loss. You know. Yeah, I mean, pre-market, you can use stop losses, but they're going to be limit stops, and so they're much less reliable in pre, is what it is, you know. While we're selling off, I don't think there's a reason. I think we're actually pretty choppy right now. Market's gone up and down, up and down. I have 4 monitors, Serge, and so I'm looking at 4 different monitors, brother. So most of the time I'm looking at the chart on a couple of different angles. One chart with indicators, one chart without indicators. Don't understand why viewers come to the channels and constantly critique and attack. It's mostly a mix of jealousy and insecurity on their part. Like if you're struggling in life, you know, like it's kind of like a release to come and like talk smack to other traders. It just means they're struggling. I feel for them. Most of the time, you know, you got to pity them a little bit. I mean, when you look this handsome, you know what I mean? And you look this good, you know, people are going to hate. I've just gotten used to it. You know, you live this life. Listen, I was born like this. I can't help it, guys. You know, don't hate on me for how I look, you know. I can't help it. Retail's about to learn what happens when market makers want the stock to go down but want to make money on it. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think everybody has to learn that lesson sometimes. What's weird is earnings this year have been what's interesting is earnings this year have been freaking weird, bro. Earnings this year have been, most stocks have posted way better than expected results and dropped like 5 to 10% from those reports. Specifically Google, Meta, Microsoft, Tesla. They all posted better than expected results for the most part, except for maybe Tesla. And so what's strange is that we're getting earnings reports. And I always tell people the same thing regarding earnings season, right? Like you get a lot of traders that try to take big option plays ahead of earnings, pure gambles, right? There's no edge in that. There's just pure gambles. They try to take big option plays or they try to take huge positions ahead of earnings. And it just gets them really emotional about the outcome, where if you got a bullish trader, they're mad. If you got a bearish trader, they're, you know, but in the end, nobody knows how stocks are going to respond, even if you can predict what the earnings are going to be, which is very low probability as well, that you're actually going to be able to predict what the earnings are. And so the edge of taking a position ahead of a big earnings release is super low, right? There's almost no edge doing that. And so I always try to discourage that type of behavior because it's just gambling, you know, like go play a slot machine if you want that, you know what I mean? But just understand the edge of taking big option plays ahead of earnings is usually very, very minuscule. And again, this earnings season is a great example of that, where we've had 5 big boy stocks release earnings that were better than expected. And a lot of them had good guidance as well, yet they still dropped 5 to 10% from it. You know, so again, there's no edge there. You can't really find an edge in that situation. I was an earnings gambler once, then I learned to sell spreads. If you have major edge, maybe take an option. Yeah. Why couldn't you predict earnings? Nobody can. It's all just a guess, right? And you better believe the people who guess right are going to act like they're the greatest guru of all time ever. You know, if they get it wrong, they're just going to act like they never did it. You know, Apple's starting to fight back though. Again, market's actually very choppy right now. You can see the sideways trend. Again, you can see the sideways trend here, top and bottom of it. And so we'll see if we break it, but it's very sideways right now. How can you trade options in pre-market? It's not options, it's futures. Futures are, you can day trade a lot of different stuff in futures. You can day trade the S&P 500 E-mini. You can day trade the NASDAQ. So you can basically day trade the SPY or the Q price action. You can day trade currencies, gold, silver. Patterns are very similar to large blue chip stocks, but there's no PDT rule. You can day trade short, buy market, sell market, and pre-market, all that good stuff. And there's no PDT rule. And so that's what you see me doing here. If you want to check it out, here's the link to Top Step. You're not trading options, you're trading futures contracts. B. So you look at the VIX for sentiment. I look at the VIX for volatility potential, but that's about it. it's not the end all be all of my trading for sure. You know, I'm just looking at it for potential direction and momentum. It's not based on theirs, it's based on everybody's, Scott. The futures market is open 24/7, so it never closes, right? And it has this big market as well. You know. I mean, I don't know, B. Maybe you can. Can you trade options on? You could trade E-mini options in pre-market. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Again, it's not my niche. I've been trading for 8+ years. I'm not really much of an options trader, to be honest. I never have been. I've always been very open about that. I can Google it though. Yeah, I don't know. You can trade some options on ETFs. But what I meant to say, options are not available in pre-market, was that equities options. But again, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Yeah, VIX is a volatility ETF. Yeah, I sold my Roblox option a long time ago. Is there options on futures? I don't know why you would ever restrict yourself to trading options on futures, though. You know, options are just more restricted trades, right? So you're just more restricted with options, to be honest. You know, like you might be in the money, be right about your prediction and still losing, which is one of the reasons I just don't like options at all. Facebook said it lost about $4 billion in the metaverse in the last 3 months. It's now lost $40 billion on this metaverse since 21. It also expects metaverse losses to increase meaningfully in the next year. Yeah, so I'm watching this video of Shakira seeing a camera phone for the first time in 2002. And again, one of the things they say is that I used to think this was something special that humans did, but they've regretted that as time goes on. Look at the NASDAQ actually start to break highs up here. I kind of agree. Like, again, I grew up in the age before phones, and I did a lot of dumb stuff. You know, the problem with phones and cameras now is that all your worst moments are filmed. and then shown to the world. Like even cops, right? They're posting DUIs, they're posting mug shots, like your worst moments in life. And I never got a DUI or DWI or anything like that, so it's not like I ever had that happen, to be honest. But the fact that your worst moments in life are published to the world, and the reason I say this is because I had a close friend of mine that, you know, got into like an argument with some cops when he was inebriated, and you know, basically got into this big argument with cops, and like the cops on their social media page literally posted his mugshot, you know, and his mugshot was looking rough, and like the whole city of Baton Rouge made fun of him. You know what I mean? Scary thing, dude, to be honest, man. Like that your worst moments in life are now, like the cops are now publishing mugshots and using it to make fun of you. Like weird thing, man. That's scary, you know, in my opinion. I don't think that's necessarily good. And even young people now are programmed to like pull out their phone and record everything, to the point where we're even missing out on life to a certain extent because we're spending so much time worried about recording it. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But maybe it's just because I grew up in the age before smartphones, you know. But did he ever do it again? I don't know, man. I haven't really talked to him in years. All right, hey, we're still pretty flat. We're still in this sideways range, not really doing much. I don't know what is buy market, sell market. I see some people, they just click sell market even though they don't have anything to sell. Can you explain how this works? Usually sell market means shorting. They're usually shorting Ollie. AMD, yeah, AMD earnings are next week, right? I think we got Apple and AMD earnings next week. Apple pushing up, Nvidia pushing up, gold still dipping down a little bit, but Nvidia green on the day up to 411s. That's good. What about PayPal? PayPal up a little bit today, but down pretty heavily on the week. All right, guys, we're still pushing up a little bit. We're at 1430s right now, 1430s. Again, look at the Q at 347s. So again, start to test the highs here. Yeah, we're not going to take any more like big trades, I think. We still got 35 minutes until the market opens. Market looks strong. Let's see if we rip. Big pop up. Retracing a little bit, but market needs to bounce, and honestly today it really needs to bounce. It's been down so much. I mean, it doesn't really need to do anything, but I think the extension on the downside probably means that we could bounce today at least. Again, SPY right at the top. NASDAQ consolidating up there trying to hold. Q still pushing up to 347s, which is the NASDAQ. You look at like Tesla here on the side. Tesla up to 211s almost. A little pullback on the NASDAQ here. See if we bounce at that previous support level. right, market's back down to that previous support level. It looks like it wants to bounce. Short the top. I'm not really a big short the top person. This is not really my style of trading. Again, market's still very flat here. We're testing these lows. SPY pulling back some too. So we're kind of neutral, in all honesty. Like we're green relative to when the PCE inflation report came out, but we're neutral overall. Shorting is not borrowing the share from the company. Shorting is borrowing the share from long-term investors. So long-term investors are actually the ones that you're borrowing the shares from, not the company itself, right? And it's one of the reasons a lot of penny stocks don't have shorts available is because you don't have a lot of long-term investors in penny stocks. Most people are smart enough not to invest in penny stocks long-term. And so it's very difficult to locate the shorts because there's not a lot of long-term investors. And when you compare that to something like Apple or Amazon, which has tons of long-term investors sitting in it that don't really care about short-term fluctuations, you just got a lot of access to borrowing shares from those investors to short. I think that's essentially what shorting is. All right, so we're back down to the very middle of the range. See, the SPY is right at the VWAP, but right at the 200 EMA. All right, so we're about to back up a little bit to test the top of the range. We got 30 minutes now, 30 minutes. Sorry, let me. All right, so we're about to back up to the top of the range here. So again, you can kind of see where the SPY is. We kind of bounced right off of that VWAP 200 EMA level again, which is why it's one of my favorite levels to attack these dips. So let me make sure you guys can actually see it. So again, you can kind of see this here. Here. You can kind of see why this level is so important and so relevant for markets. Do you earn money on live streams? Yes. Absolutely. Most tech is up. Intel, Amazon. Well, Intel and Amazon are up. but I wouldn't really call that most tech. I would say, I mean, they're up on the day. Intel's up yesterday with a beat. Amazon's definitely up, right? But Microsoft is down. Google is down. Meta is down. Not today. I'm talking about since their actual earnings reports, right? Tesla is down relative to their earnings reported. So most tech is actually red from their earnings reports. The only ones that are actually up are Meta, or the only ones that are actually up are Amazon and Intel, right? Intel's a pretty small company too, so it's not really the biggest one. But Meta, Google, Microsoft, Tesla, all down on their earnings. Yeah, ENPH dumped too. Yeah, I don't know what Disney's gonna do. Netflix, yeah, Netflix. I mean, Netflix is up, sure, but Netflix has actually been one of the better ones. But again, the majority of them are still down. All right, so we're starting to test the top of this range again. Let's see if we hold now. SPY ripping up. NASDAQ finally starting to push up. But again, we're pretty sideways range heading into the market today. Very sideways range. Real action starts in 26 minutes, basically, yeah. Again, we only have done one plug all day today. We've been streaming for like 3 hours. If you want to check out Top Step, again, if you want to day trade with me on these funded account programs, Top Step is a funded account program in futures. And in the futures market, there's no PDT rule. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, currencies, gold, silver. Patterns are very similar to blue chip patterns, but there's no PDT rule. What they do is they give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can hit the target while following their rules, they fund you between $50,000 up to $150,000 with a 90% split. And they pay out millions, fund thousands of traders every year. They pay out millions in actual withdrawals every year. They've been around for over a decade. They're the most legit one in the world. Great way to help support the channel is by checking them out. And it really is kind of the best of both worlds scenario. Most new traders lose money. When I first got started, I lost thousands of dollars in like a couple weeks. And I wish I could go back and use one of these funded account programs instead, because I was trading mostly blue chips and just losing money. This is one of those ways you're still probably going to lose. Most day traders lose, and I'm always honest and transparent about that. But it's a lot cheaper to do a funded account program if you lose, you're out $50 basically for Top Step. Where if you put the money up yourself, you could lose thousands. And so in that regard, it makes perfect sense. But they are a sponsor of mine. I'm certainly biased in their favor because they pay me money. You know, always honest about that. But if you want to check it out, here's the link. Got that plug memorized now. All right, team. SPY up to 417s, 415s. What else we got? We got Michigan consumer sentiment and expectations today. Yeah, I think we've just had so much economic reports lately. It's just been hectic and busy. I'm ready to get some rest, to be honest, man. I've been streaming every day this week, multiple times a day, a lot of the time. Again, we got oil earnings coming out today as well, but the market's not really in a good range for me to trade. I mean, it's in a good range. It's not in a good trend right now yet. All right, so FTX supposedly had 400 million AMC tokens that were backed 1-to-1 with shares. Adam Aaron at this time said that shareholders owned 85% of the float. So was everybody buying AMC through FTX? Because I wasn't. Something's not adding up. Does that make sense? I don't know. All right, so the SEC chairman, Gary G, said that 8 to 10 spot Bitcoin ETFs are under consideration for approval. I heard that it would be 24 hours before we got that approval. Yeah, music's quiet. Let's see. Tesla back to 100. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see if we get that bounce day everybody wants. I lost 11K yesterday. Scale down, bro. Unless you got like millions, scale down, dude. You're trading way too large. Yeah, we're green today. I mean, we're not super green. Mostly Microsoft treating us right. All right. Again, we're testing the top of the range. We've been very flat this morning, which is kind of surprising in all honesty, man. All right, so still trying to test that, but again, I'm kind of just quiet right now. I don't really see any big edge. We're at the top of the range, but we're still in the same range that we've been in, which is a sideways range since about an hour prior to this. We got 20 minutes until the market opens, but it's just kind of sideways and boring right now. Hopefully you guys find something better. It's also Friday, guys, so just understand you might want to be safe. The market can a lot of the time be sideways and neutral on Fridays. So again, we do have Michigan inflation expectations dropping later on, but PCE data's out, and lately when the Q is up in pre, it tanks after the bell faking me out. Yeah, for sure. Experiment with strategies. Yeah, if it's small size, you're still having trouble determining when to go in and use a demo and experiment. Yeah, maybe. I'm too impatient, always entering trades at the wrong time. Well, take it slow, bro. Scale down your size, dude. If Tesla goes back to 100, I'm going all in. Yeah, me too. I don't know. We've been pretty sideways now for a minute. That's the only issue. Hey, John, what's your favorite strategy for consistency? I'm usually using the VWAP here, so I can put this up a little bit and show you guys. But like my favorite strategy usually involves waiting for some type of move over the 200 EMA like this, and then buying a pullback to it like this. You know, so attacking these dips here or here. You know, ideally, the closer together they are, a lot of the time, the better the strategy actually works, if that makes sense, right? So now we need high volatility, but when you're looking at this, as an example, number one, okay, let me try to draw the strategy out. So I look for a range at the opening bell, right? So you can call it an opening range breakout, but like you can kind of see we have the same thing that we have right now, which is just kind of an up and down range, a very clear kind of rectangular squarish range. And then I look for a break of that range. So like, let me zoom in. You know, I look for a break of this range. All right, so we finally get the break of this range yesterday here. And then once we break the range, usually I look for a retest, which is like right here. So I look to short into the previous low. And so just to draw it out a little bit better. Right, so again, we have this range. We've got the bottom of the range right there. A lot of the time I'm using the VWAP as well. So I look for the VWAP to be in the middle. We break down under that, under the low, under the VWAP, and then we bounce up to retest that level, right? So you can kind of see we're retesting that big resistance level here. Then I short into it and cover. Or if it's on the opposite side, like, let me see if I can find an example of it on the upside. You know, we need a green day, which we haven't really had that many lately, but let me see if I can find one. Red day. It doesn't necessarily have to be at the open. Here's a good example, even though it didn't really work that well, but it's a good example of showing you guys what I mean. And so again, here's another example of a range, right? So you have the range right here. You can see the very obvious range that we have, sideways kind of rectangular range, right? We look for a break over that specific level, and then we look for a pullback to it. And I'm usually buying that pullback. If you see where the support coincides, it's right here. So we're kind of buying all up this area here, and then looking to catch a bounce back up there. You know, that's what we do a lot. We also look at like I look at candlestick patterns a ton. You know, I look at like momentum strategies and candlestick patterns and a bunch of stuff. It really depends on what part of the day I'm at, whether I'm building up a cushion or not, or whether I am, you know, taking larger swings. It's just a range break strategy, President. So it's just a range break strategy. It's a strategy in which we're looking for a range, waiting for the range to break, and then shorting the retest of it or buying the pullback to it, you know. Again, I can't guarantee that strategy is going to work. Nobody can. You know, it's just my own system, my own strategy. You know, we might do this thing where every day at 8:30 or every day at 9:30, we put every day at 9:30 we start to do some strategy lessons. Would you guys like that? I think that's a good lesson. I'll have to create like some type of intro for it, but every day at 9 a.m. we start breaking down strategies heading into the opening bell. Got the old school jazz in here, feeling real in 90s right now. That's a Bitcoin, about $5,000 from recovering the full price drop from the 2020T altcoin crash from Terra Luna and Celsius. Then we get back up to over 35, 40K, then we're doing pretty well. right? So Equitable Bank in Canada, which is Canada's 7th largest bank, recently announced that they are introducing a new 40-year amortization mortgage product, according to CBC. Oh, man. So I'm reading this report about Sam Bankman-Fried. They said Sam on the stand is a disaster. He can't be allowed to speak to a jury. The prosecution explicitly asked him if he felt that he should not embezzle customer assets. His defense objects. The judge sustains that objection, but then Sam answers anyway. His defense is like, "What the heck, bro? Like, why'd you answer that?" And he says, "Quote, I felt I had to answer that." End quote. You know, people in the comments saying the Adderall strikes back. Hey, we got 12 minutes here, guys. 12 minutes until the market opens. We'll see what we get. Yeah, we'll tune in. Teaching some strategies is a good idea. Got you. Yeah, I'll think about it. My strategy is to not lose money. I mean, for us all. Yeah, just because it works for me doesn't mean it's gonna work with other people. Nothing does. Every strategy is a little bit different for everybody. Like, again, the problem I have with day trading courses. Again, the real problem I have with day trading courses is simple. The problem I have is that even if you teach somebody a carbon copy of your strategy, even if you teach somebody the different steps, sequences, and nuances of your strategy, people behave differently. People have different patience levels and tolerances and all this different stuff, right? And so even if you teach them exactly how you trade, it doesn't mean it's the right way for them to trade, and they might lose tons of money when you make a lot of money. You know, that's the problem with day trading courses, is that they're purporting to teach you strategies, but just because a strategy works for somebody doesn't mean it works for somebody else. And so charging thousands of dollars on publicly available content and subjective strategies just seems like a huge waste of money. You know, bond yields pushing up. Yeah, the bonds have been interesting lately, but they're usually going to move inversely to equities. You know, the 10-year yield right now is at 4.87%, so it's gapping up a little bit this morning. Yeah, Nightbot is what it is. It's a bot that auto states different things. Yeah, and then the other problem with courses is, like, people pay for a course, right? And because confirmation bias and they've spent so much money on it, they're so desperate to believe it's valuable because they spent so much money on it that they ignore the red flags. They ignore the fact that a lot of it is publicly available content, and they just tell everybody how great it is. A lot of the time they turn into shills for the guru because they look at them like they're a celebrity. And I think some people are just more gullible and fall for that type of stuff. I wouldn't trust anybody. Again, I'm very skeptical in nature. Don't even trust me. It's one of the reasons I don't give anybody. I don't tell anybody what I think is going to happen. Or I tell people what I think is going to happen, but I always tell people I'm not an expert and not to copy me. Seems like no one reached risk management. Well, the easiest risk management system is one that I always talk about. It's very simple. If you want to pass a top step combine, you know, you might have to reset a couple of times or try multiple times or whatever. But the easiest way to pass it is simple. You build up a cushion with small size. And then once you build up that cushion with small size, you give yourself a max loss on the day, number one, right? So you give yourself a max loss on the day. Mine is like $200 or $300 if I can. And again, I don't always follow this system. Sometimes I take more risks if I feel like it. But like, if you're struggling and you don't have that much money and you really want to get funded safely, you build up a cushion. You have a max loss on the day. If you You use small size while you're building the cushion. If you lose over $200, shut it down. Don't trade anymore. If you build up a cushion of $200 in profit, then you're allowed to take larger risks, right? If you do well with that, you can take larger risks. If you do well with that, you can take larger risks. And that's how you get $1,000 plus gains in one specific day. And when you compound that over multiple days, you can get funded in 2 or 3 days if you do that correctly. Now, you might have to reset, a couple times the first day until you build up that cushion and start following that system. But if you use that risk management system, it can work really, really well. You just kind of have to understand that, number one, you're probably going to have to reset accounts regardless. Number two, you have to be incredibly rigid with your rules. You can't trade super large in the beginning. You can't take 5 contracts off the gate in the morning. You got to kind of take it slow. What's LL? LL Flooring? Terrible stock. LL Flooring, one of the worst looking long-term trends ever. LL Flooring was at $120 in 2013, 10 years ago. It's now at $3.20. Terrible company, terrible stock, terrible downtrend. Has been downtrending since 2020. In 2020, it was at $37. It's now at $3. Yeah, I mean, my TOS account's got 6 figures in buying power and a bunch of real money in it too. So, I mean, I trade with real money sometimes as well. But again, market's so flat right now. We got 6 minutes. Yields are up a little bit. They're not skyrocketing here. If you look at the 10-year yields right now, here's TNX, right? Here's 10-year. So, I mean, they're up some, but it's not like they're crazy high right now. I mean, they're high relative to what historically they usually are, but compared to the rest of the week, they're pretty flat. They're at 4.8% right now, 4.86%, almost 4.9%, or almost 4.87%. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna get some rest this weekend, man. I've been trading, and again, if you want to check out Top Step, check out the link in the description. Great way to help support the channel. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy some rest this weekend for sure. Very flat range here, team. Again, I'm going to draw a line right here because we need to, because this looks like a very flat range. Sideways range, NASDAQ sideways, E-mini sideways, Tesla sideways, Apple sideways over the last 20 minutes, that is. Not in the morning, but over the last 20, we're flat. Apple's actually up today, so that's not bad. Now it's finally pulling back some. Right, they're on the 167 VWAP level for Apple. Yields are falling down too, but we got less than 5. Should I put money in ARK investment? I don't know, man. Crypto sideways. Yeah, a lot of people are anticipating the Bitcoin spot ETF approval that they think is going to happen in the next 24 hours, but they've said so much hype and they've set so many milestone dates for it happening, and it hasn't yet. So again, I'm going to be skeptical until it's approved, and I hope it gets approved. It should be fun to watch if it does, but we'll see. Amazon EPS 94 cents a share. All right, so we're breaking down under that level we drew. Under that level. Look at this dump. So we are starting to flush. Like I said, guys, CEO of JP Morgan plans to sell $140 million worth of shares, about 1 million shares in 2024. It's his first stock sale during his 18 years of CEO leadership. He owns 8.6 million shares total, about 1.2 billion in sales. It's intended for, quote, financial diversification and tax planning. But it's definitely not a good sign for JP Morgan, I think. Y'all think it's a good or bad move for him to sell those shares? Good for him. Good, good. Yeah, we'll see. We're going to 400, man. I feel it. On the SPY, maybe. Maybe we do. All right, so popping back up. Again, we got a minute and a half. Oh, man, I'm going to enjoy the rest, man. It's been such a busy week for me this week, dude. I'm so ready to relax and not have to stream. I love you guys, but, man, I'm ready to close it down for a couple days and just relax. All right, here we go. Less than a minute. Where's AMC doing, and despite all this stuff going on this week? AMC still at 930s, a pre-split price of 93.5 cents, though. So 30 seconds, guys, 30 seconds. Will you open a trade now? Yeah, I'm probably going to open one after the opening, but I'm waiting for the open. Here's the open right now. Holiday next week in the States? I don't think so. All right, big pop up at the open. We don't know if it's going to hold, but a big bounce at the opening bell for the NASDAQ at least. NASDAQ tends to move a lot. Tesla bouncing up to 211s here. 211s. Big pop up. Look at that. Testing that top of the range that we drew. I'm going to let things settle after the first opening action. But, man, big bounce. Again, if you know anything about the NASDAQ, it doesn't mean anything, though. It could, again, whether it's holding is a different story. Let's look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA popped up to 412s and then retraced. Google bouncing up. That's great. Microsoft down a little bit. Yeah, so look, there's the retracement. Again, that's what I'm saying. If you know anything about the NASDAQ, you know that it's not necessarily the most reliable thing. NVIDIA falling down some that might drag everything else back down with it. Apple's up some, though. Yeah, I mean... yeah, we got Halloween on Friday next week, but it's not really a day off. We actually got a bunch of stuff happening next week. The FOMC meeting Wednesday. We have the FOMC non-farm payrolls and unemployment, non-farm employment change, the CB consumer confidence. Again, like I said, the FOMC meeting with Jerome Powell on Wednesday. Manufacturing and services PMI. We got a lot of stuff happening next week, to be honest. Very busy week. All right, so we're starting to bounce back up. NVIDIA falling down, though. NVIDIA under 409s right now, so NVIDIA's falling down. We're still in this kind of same trend that we drew here. Look at the top of this level. We've been sitting there all morning. Microsoft started to bounce back up some. Specifically, Apple starting to rip up nicely too, to where we're actually green on the day in equities. All right, back up to test the top of the range. Let's see what NVIDIA does again. My hands are off yet. I'm going to wait until 5 minutes after the open to trade, I think. All right, so we finally broke the top of that range. Again, I'm trying to take my hands off until we get some good action here. Apple popping up nice. Microsoft popping up nice. Google popping up nice. Doesn't mean they're going to hold, though, so I'm kind of sitting tight, waiting. Billionaire Ken Griffith is building himself the most expensive home in the world, according to the New York Post. NVIDIA bouncing back up, testing 410s right now. Tesla actually really choppy. Pull it back a little bit now. Again, my hands are off until 5 minutes at least after the close. So we still got 20 seconds until I'm going to be able to trade. Or I'm going to allow myself to trade, that is. All right, so now we actually trade a little bit. Yeah, PayPal's down from Stone for sure still. Where's Ford at? Is it still dropping? Yeah, Ford down in 1070s. Tesla's flat. NVIDIA breaking down. Apple's still green on the day. I added a little bit to Apple today too. Microsoft still bouncing up. Google turning all the way back down though. But Microsoft's still popping a little bit. All right, so NVIDIA testing lows is kind of dragging the market down some more, I think, here too. Pop it back up a little bit. All right, so we're starting to bounce. I might buy this dip. I'm going to try to take this trade, although it's a very small trade on the NASDAQ. We'll see if we get a little pop that I can take profit in. Build up that cushion first. But again, it is Friday, and I'm a little skeptical. All right, so we're flat. There we go. All right, just scalped about $100 quickly. So scalped a little $100 bill. We'll give it time, see if we get something better. Okay, yeah, we made about $105 there, actually. Got another little pullback. Almost bought that dip again. Yeah, see, what the problem is, look at these up wicks and down wicks here. So the market's still incredibly flat right now is the problem. Like, it's still so choppy right now that, like, I don't know any edge is there. Microsoft ripping up. That's good. I just don't know if I see any big edge right now. Do y'all? I mean, what do y'all think? Up or down right now? Green or red? All right, so we did rip up. I'm gonna buy this dip, but it's kind of sketchy. And again, we got a cushion of $100, so we'll try. But yeah, now immediately getting punished back down. So again, just kind of sketchy here. Yeah, I'm gonna cover that. So now we're down $100. Again, it's just such a choppy day right now, man. I'm not gonna keep forcing it too much. We're keeping our losses on our account small. It's not so hard to make money on days like today where we don't really have any given edge, and it's also Friday, and so just be smart and stay safe in these markets, team, for sure. It's just a weird market where we're going up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. Might trade the regular E-mini if we get some action here, but it's so weird, man. This market action sucks. Look at NVIDIA. So again, y'all stay safe. Yeah, we got Michigan consumer data coming out. That might be relevant for something in 20 minutes. Oh, man. Tesla breaking down. Oh, man. Yeah, it's Friday, and there's not really a lot of volatility. A lot of up wicks and down wicks, which means indecision, mostly. S&P's breaking down a little bit more. All right, bouncing back up again. Like I said, guys, I'm pretty, you know, I got into one trade just now with the E-mini. So here's my P&L on the day. We are up to 204. But again, I'm just not really confident in this. Maybe the market's waiting on Michigan consumer data. That's possible, I guess. But I guess we'll cover this Michigan data. But yeah, I don't know, man. Also very flat today. So again, rejecting the top of that trend. All right, now we're just boring, man. All right, so now we're starting to finally rip back up a little bit. We'll take a buy here. Carol with the worst timing on calls ever. Hello, you're on stream right now. All right, so we just got out of another trade, guys. So we're up 330 in this account right now, but it's pretty choppy. We're finally getting upward action. Here, hold on, baby. Hold on 1 second. All right, love you, bud. All right, so now we're pulling back a little bit. So we got our little money in real quick, and now we got our money out. See, what's weird is that the NASDAQ seems to be doing much better than the E-mini, where look, here's the E-mini. Here's what's strange, right? So here's the E-mini on the day. So here's the E-mini. Ow. Which means that tech is basically really propping up the market, but everything else is down. And so here's the NASDAQ. Strange. Tesla ripping up. So basically tech is propping up the market right now. All right, so the average monthly mortgage payment is 52% higher than the average monthly rent on a house or apartment, which is crazy because that's kind of the opposite of what it has historically been. Google breaking down even more today while Microsoft is ripping up. My portfolio is pretty flat now. Now a big pullback here. Again, just such a choppy day, man. Maybe the market's waiting for this Michigan data. I guess that's possible. But it's so flat right now. Yeah, again, my hands are off for the most part. Like, I'll take small calculated trades if I can, but only because I have a cushion on the day. But there's really no direction, team, and y'all just have to be careful. Tesla helping the market a little bit over the last like 10 minutes, but such a sideways day. If you look at Nvidia, Tesla, a lot of tech. Microsoft's pushing up, but even Microsoft pushing up some, it's still kind of flat despite everything. So again, y'all just be really careful. There's not really any big edge right now. All right, so now we're starting to test the bottom of the range. Still flat on the day, but testing the bottom of the range now. Ten minutes, guys. 10 minutes before the Michigan data comes out. We're now testing lows. Tesla turned all the way back down to 209s. Again, usually I would short this type of little bounce, but I don't trust the market not continuing in a sideways way, and so I'm skeptical. All right, guys, 9 minutes before the Michigan data. I'm going to stick around and stream the Michigan data just so people can see what's going on and see if it might influence the market positively or negatively. But again, I'm kind of staying flat until we get this data. I might short. It would be very much like me to say, yeah, I'm staying flat and then take a position. Part of me wants to short this, though. Maybe shorting it's a bad idea. Well, we got a second, though. Check out Chart Prime, man. Chart Prime is genuinely impressive. When you look at it, again, genuinely impressive here. So check it out. I'll put the link up right here. Again, a great way to help support my channel is check out Chart Prime. It's a trading view indicator service you can use in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. What I always tell people, especially on days like today, is you can use this to find edge. Again, watch how often, and it doesn't happen every day, right? But the one I always look, reversal up, bounce. This reversal didn't work, but watch how often when you get an engulfing candle and a reversal signal at the same time. Look at the accuracy rate. Look, here's the last one that happened. Beautiful bounce over like a 3-6 hour period. Again, we can keep going back and I'll show you more of these. Look, bullish engulfing, reversal up, bounce. Bullish engulfing, 2 of them here, reversal up, bounce. Bearish engulfing, drop. You can keep going. Bullish engulfing, engulfing in a reversal up signal, bounce. Bullish engulfing, reversal up signal, bounce. Bullish
bullish engulfing candle reversal up bounce. Same thing here, bounce. Same thing here, bounce. Same thing here, bounce. On the upside, you have a rejection here. Oh, what did I do? I just did something. But the point is, it can just be powerful, team. If you look at it, it can be really, really powerful where, you know, you got the regular market oracle. You can also look at the market oracle pro, which gives you a little bit shorter term time frame. Like, again, same thing here. Look, it works the best when the engulfing candle and the reversal signal happens within like 2 to 3 candles. So within like 15 minutes on a 5-minute chart. And on a 5-minute chart, I find that it works the best. You can also get shorter term signals like this that give you shorter term buy and sell signals. Since it's shorter term, it's much more difficult to predict range, but these seem to be powerful. Look, sell signal, beautiful drops, buy signal, beautiful bounce, sell signal, beautiful drops. And again, I can use any time frame. I can put up an hourly chart. I can use this in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. It's called Chart Prime. It's a trading view indicator service. You can also look at smart money concepts and all this other pretty cool stuff using it. Again, if you want to check it out, here's the link. They are a sponsor. I'm certainly biased because they pay me money, and so naturally I'm biased in their favor. But yeah, if you want to check it out, here's the link. Can't guarantee you're going to make money or make profits by them. Of course, nobody can. But here's the link. Check it out. Thanks so much, Ramsey, for the donation. Sorry, my headphones aren't on. I didn't really see the donation, brother, but thank you so much, man. I appreciate the support. Hey, good luck at your buy, man. Yeah, super flat action here. Good thing I didn't short. Again, I was thinking about it, but part of me was like, nah, we might be just keep choppy action. I have no idea, King. No idea whether you should hold it or not. All right, guys, the Michigan data comes out pretty soon, though. And if you want to check out Chart Prime, link is in the description as well as right there on screen. Or right there in the chat. So now we're starting to test the lows again. Now we got 5 minutes. We'll see if this inflation data even moves the market like that, to be honest. Bounce it back up again. Again, we'll see if my short was right. All right, another bounce back up. Such a choppy day, man. It's one of the choppier Fridays. Next week, we got the FOMC meeting. So, again, let's see what we'll get for that. But, yeah, if you haven't realized already, guys, it might not be the best day to take some trades. Personally, I'm not really trading heavy right now. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at my portfolio. My portfolio is red again today. But again, it's a long-term portfolio, so I'm just kind of gauging what the market's doing by looking at it. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to get. Maybe the Michigan data will help or hurt. I don't know. We're waiting for it, though. All right, guys, we got 3 minutes. Microsoft pushing up. Google bouncing back a little bit today as well. Thanks so much for the growth, though, guys. We're almost back up. Like, listen, we're pretty close to 117,000 subs. We'll definitely hit it next week. And so I appreciate the love, guys. Appreciate the support. I appreciate the growth. And yeah, it's been a fun week. A lot of earnings. Next week, we got even more. So this is the NASDAQ right here. So this is a NASDAQ 100 futures contract. Bro, how is your jiu-jitsu going? It's going pretty well. I mean, again, I'm still a white belt, of course. Still waiting for my first stripe. Been doing it for months now. I got a pretty good guillotine. I actually like no gi a little bit more than gi. In gi, I just get judo thrown too much. And I'm good at, like, I have pretty good top pressure and top control. A little bit weaker on the bottom. Like, if somebody gets me in half guard, I can use, like, a lockdown or something like that, or sweep in half guard, but a little bit weaker there, I would say, but I have pretty good top pressure. I got pretty good takedown defense, and my guillotine's my best move. I can usually guillotine people if they shoot in with their head on the outside. So it's going all right. Still having fun with it. Anyways, here goes the data report, guys. We got a minute left. We got 1 minute here, team. And then I'm going to close it down. Again, we had our fun. Hey, good luck, Romeo. All right, here we go, guys. Here's the report. All right, so there's the data. 59, lower than expected consumer expectations, higher than expected consumer sentiment. So pretty mixed. Again, Michigan consumer expectations came in at 59.3 versus 60.7. So lower than expected consumer expectation. Consumer sentiment actually slightly higher at about 63.8 versus 63 expected. 5-year inflation expectations came in at 3 versus 3 and 4.2% on the 1 year versus 3.8. So a little bit higher 1-year inflation expectations than expected. 4.2% versus 3.8% on the 1-year expectation. And so that's what we're seeing right now. Slightly bearish response to this report, but again, we're still in the same range, still in the same sideways trend, kind of boring. So that's the report right now. Again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step funded program for futures. You want to day trade with less risk, in my opinion. Try Top Step. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. I can't guarantee you're going to have less risk, but it's just a lot cheaper. They give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can pass it, they fund you. And so instead of putting up the money up yourself, you're risking noticeably less than you would putting up the equivalent amount of money. If you lose, you're only out $50. If you're good enough to pass it, you get between 50 to 150,000 in funding with a 90% split. They're the most legit one in the world. Check them out. Love you all. I'm going to go ahead and close it down, guys. Listen, I've been streaming every day. I've been streaming every day over the last week. Pretty tired. So, yeah, if you want to check them out, there's the link. But yeah, you can we've been streaming a lot, which is great. I mean, my channel's been, growing. That's nice. Again, we're almost up to 117,000 subs. I appreciate the love, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all have a safe and happy weekend. We don't have any fights this weekend, do we? I don't think so. No fights this weekend. Next one is Almeida versus Lewis on the 4th. So, yeah, boring weekend. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be safe. Good luck.